Lykle. Hi, nice to have you here. For the interview, first question, do you think you will reach a reasonable amount of automated processes with this concept? So is it a nice way to just implement automation on some edge cases?
I think we can reach quite an amount of cases with this. We are now experimenting with the transportation sector, like your car is broken down, you make a phone call, and then the machine can help you with past decisions to send a fire truck or a big towing truck or just a small repair. And based on historical decisions, you can get help like that. But you can also see it, for example, the 112. If you take some parameters in the system, could advise the person there to send an ambulance or police or both. That might help. Also, I've worked in Australia on a similar case, not with machine learning, but with Oracle policy automation. There, the system was advising on mortgage to basically to accept or to reject, and or to look into it manually. And if you go further on that, if basically any decision-making process that is usually based on facts and logic, then you can have help from the machine. And maybe in the future the machine could even make the decision for you if it can predict with a certain percentage that it's going to be this way or that way.
Yeah. So when the machine is very, very sure that this is the right decision, so it can be completely automated then?
Yes, because that's how it works. The machine gives a prediction, basically, and a percentage with the prediction. Like, okay, if they say for 60% we're sure, then I would not automate it. But if they say 98%, you could try.
Yeah, okay.
And we also, of course, have to learn how such things will develop in the future, and how much we can automate and how many manual approvals we still need. But as a helper, that's how we're starting with it. It's a very good thing already.
Very cool. So machine learning models are trained with existing data. So when you use a machine learning model to take decisions, these decisions are always based on the data that was available when you trained the model. So now when you think of a timeline, this, the input data you have available will change over time, and therefore the model might take not the best decisions. How long do you think is this time span, and how often do you have to retrain the model?
That is something that we need to experiment with. We are not in production with anything yet, so I mean the product is still not fully released by Oracle even. So we are experimenting with these things, and well, what we can see is that yes, you put in certain data and then the model will make predictions, and indeed, but like you said, it can change. So what Oracle is also working on is a system where when the decision is following the advice of the machine, then we can give feedback like this was correct assumption. And also when the user is overruling the machine logic, then we can also give that as feedback, and then the machine can learn again. Okay. So by constantly providing feedback and basically retraining the model, you can keep it up to date and make sure that you get better and better advices.
Okay, good. How's the process of training you created itself? Is it very automated, or is it more like we have created this one model and use it right away, and there's no process, no pipeline or something like that?
The model that I will be speaking about is mainly manual. So you manually put in data and you write an algorithm over it, and that is making the predictions based on that data. In the future, we will certainly want to automate part of those things, like you have the real production data, and maybe you want to, I don't know, periodically, weekly, monthly, let the model learn from the new data again. But that is once again something that is still in development, and we need to work it. We need to experience it and work it out further.
Okay. So if you think about a big scale system, and now we have a small part of it is this big scale system that is influenced by an artificial intelligence, by a machine learning model that's taking decisions and optimizing the small part of the overall system. This might lead to a poor output of the complete system. So do you think that it would be better to implement an artificial intelligence at most parts, so the whole system will be better, or do you think it's only something you can put at some special places where you think AI is the best part?
Well, I think you need to implement it where you need it and not everywhere because you can do it. That would be most logical. Apart from that, if the whole system starts performing less because you use AI in a certain point, then you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. Then you have not isolated your business functionality well enough. Then you should really consider whether you want to, for example, move from a traditional data-oriented system to microservices, for example, where you can really isolate that part of functionality, and if that one needs more resources, you just give it more resources, and the rest of the system will keep working as is. And I think if you isolate it well, then there should be no problem. And also, it's done by Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse, which should already give a very good performance. Of course, if you use the same data warehouse for a lot of BI functionality and well, you keep feeding tons of data in it and you do multiple AI applications, you might run into trouble. And then once again, you need to figure out how to split it up and make functional silos. Mm-hmm. At least that's my idea.
So like in most systems, if you have a good architecture overall, you can place AI where it's needed and where you have the most benefit from it, and it's not a solution for just everything.
No, I think in the past there were much less products available, so then yeah, the solution would be the Oracle database or maybe some services on top of that. But these days you have so many options and so many ideas of how to isolate things and make them work together independently that you can do what you need where you need to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.